Hi mate, Slimy here, and recently I've been thinking about a lot of the earlier Pokemon stuff. All of which on screen right now are potential video ideas that I'm thinking about. And recently I've been thinking about the Poison type, and how often it's been associated with the likes of Team Rocket. And it made me think, was Poison type the original evil type? Now, most people already know that in Japan, the Dark type is actually called the Evil type. Now, granted, a good chunk of Dark types are actually evil, but the same can apply here to Poison types. But how often do you see Poison types used by criminal organisations like, well, Team Rocket, Team Aqua, Team Magma and Team Galactic? In fact, Team Rocket in the anime were heavily associated with the Poison type. Poison types themselves have some interesting evidence towards this theory. Most people immediately jump to Arbok and say it should have been a Dark type because it's intimidating and associated with Team Rocket. However, it is based on a venomous snake, and Cobras are known for their intimidation tactics. Nidoking and Nidoqueen are an interesting case, because there's not really any valid justification for them being the Poison type, other than them being spiky. They are, however, both based on Kaiju, which typically tend to be forces in nature to outright evil. Even everyone's favourite Kaiju, Godzilla, flips back and forth between being a hero and a villain depending on the film. The Zubat line is a very interesting case because none of their dex entries actually mention poison or venom of any kind. However, they do talk about them drinking blood, making it sound more like they are poison types due to their vampire tendencies and not due to anything related to, say, like rabies. Vileplume is another interesting one. It's based on the Rafflesia flower, which not only smells like rotten flesh, but is also parasitic, and the Oddish line happens to be nocturnal as well. So you could say that's kind of along the lines of a Dark type. Could probably say the same thing about Victreebel, which does have the monstrous appearance and gruesome way of eating, but it's probably a poison type due to stomach acid. Tentacruel and Tentacruel are an interesting one because famously in the anime, Tentacruel was called the Gangster of the Sea. But it's not canon to the game, and they're probably just poison types because most jellyfish are poisonous. The Ghastly line is a very interesting case of the poison type being the evil type. Aside from the fact that they are kind of made of gas, they're mostly poison for more malicious reasons. They're also all about shadow manipulation and being nocturnal, which is very on brand for the likes of the Dark type. Even in the modern day, you still see signs of the evilness in poison types with a surprising amount of mind control. Famously, you have Lusamine being mind controlled by Nihiligo's neurotoxins. Salazzle is capable of mind control through pheromones. Galarian Slowking, a psychic type mind you, gets mind controlled by a Shelder. And in Scarlet and Violet, Petron has an entire DLC based around mind controlling people, making them do the chicken dance for some reason. It even has 3 victims of mind control, Okidoge, Munkidora and Pheasantipiter, who all become poison type. Ignoring mind control, there was also the whole thing with Eternatus essentially being the main villain of Sword and Shield. However, that's not to say that all poison types are inherently evil, or the people that use them. This is, again, much like the idea Dark types have, that they are associated with evil without all of them being evil. Famously, Koga and his family, for example, aren't evil. Ignore what the manga says because the manga isn't canon to the games. Roxy is another character who uses poison types who isn't evil. She's just a rebellious teenager. Considering that psychic types have a strange amount of connections to the idea of light and how a large amount of them are heroic, it's entirely possible that psychic types were intended to be the light type to Poison's Dark type, explaining a rather weird type matchup that they have. Some of the concepts Pokemon does have do pull from traditional JRPGs. That's actually a very big video idea that I've got planned at some point in the future, but I've got a lot of research to do. Anyway, do you think that the Poison type was intended as the original Dark type, or am I just imagining things? Anyway, if you like this video, don't forget to comment, like, and rate, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!